In order to convert units or change units, which is a process called dimensional analysis, we need to recall a few things about two measurement systems. We'll be looking at the English and the metric. English, if we're measuring distance, you've got an inch, you got feet, yards, miles. And if you're looking at measuring liquid, you've got ounces, pints, quarts, gallons, and so forth. In the metric system, it's a little bit different. Metric system is nice because it's based on powers of 10. So it's just a move of that deci or decimal. And the other nice thing about the metric system, all the measurements have this connection. So whether you're in distance, measuring distance, or something liquid or weight, they all connect. And this is kind of the neat connection. 1 centimeter cube. So if you're looking at a cube 1 by 1 by 1, if you were to put water and fill that to the top, it would weigh 1 gram. And if you were to measure that liquid, it would be 1 milliliter. So sometimes when you're getting a shot or something, it says you got 3 cc's. It's meaning that you really got 3 milliliters. So what we're going to look at a little bit here is the metric system. We have some basic units. We have the centimeter, which has abbreviation cm, centi. We have meter, which has abbreviation m. Now there's a relationship between the centimeter and the meter. Meter is kind of the base relationship. Centi, century, 10, 100. So it's going to look like 0.01 or 1/100th of a meter. The meter then, we're just going to be, again, my standard unit. Then we have this thing called a kilometer, which is abbreviated km, which really is 1,000 meters. Now in the English unit, there's a relationship here, and it's not a nice relationship, but the centimeter is kind of the width of your middle or your little finger, and it's going to be approximately 0.39 inches. In the meter, if we look at the kind of the correlation to the English units, it'd be 3.28 feet. And for a kilometer, that's about 0.62 miles, just a little bit more than a half. So we'll use these kind of to do some conversion. Now when we do some conversion or dimensional analysis, some people think it's like fractions where you have this part over the whole. So if I look at this as a fraction, I have 5 of the parts over the whole 5 parts, so I have a whole. So anytime you divide like numbers, you end up with 1. Now those are fractions. These are different. These are called ratios. They sure look like a fraction, but why would this be called a ratio? If you look, the units are different. So it's a ratio. The relationship there is a 1 relationship. 3 feet is equal to 1 yard. We don't call that a fraction, it's a ratio. It's still equal to 1, even though 3 over 1 is 3. Why is it equal to 1? Well, if I laid out 3 feet and laid a yardstick there, they would be the same distance. And if I flip it over, it's still equal to 1. And that's what we use for this process called dimensional analysis. So if I have 60 feet and I want to convert it to inches, I'm going to multiply by some ratios. And I know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. So I want these feet to convert to inches. And I know that this second piece here that I wrote down is an equivalent to a 1. I can multiply any value by 1 and not change the result, not change what it is equal to. So 60 feet times 12 inches to a foot are multiplied by 1. What I like to do now is almost think of this as a fraction. Feet cancel feet, and I end up with 60 times 12 inches, and multiplying that I get 720 inches. Let's convert a mile to a meter. If I have 1 mile, I'm going to multiply by this item, this ratio that's equal to 1. I can multiply anything by 1 and not change its value. So if I want to go miles to meters, I'm first going to get this into feet. And I know that there are 5,280 feet in 1 mile. So now I've converted it to feet. And I know that in 1 meter, notice the unit I want to keep stays in that numerator. Again, I'm going to multiply it by a 1. What's a meter equivalent to? 3.28 feet. So when I cross-cancel these units out, feet cancel, and now the unit that I have left is a meter. So I would take 5,280 times 1, which is 5,280, divided by 3.28, and that would leave me with meters. So what we do is we multiply by the 1, the equivalent ratio.